Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Appreciate the support, cuzzies. My name is Joe Josh. Go by iChart Daily. Today's Thursday, March 14th. Wanted to give you another window to my thought process on how I do technical analysis breakdowns on the DXY, Bitcoin. Shout out to my supporters for requesting Tesla and Quant. Without you, I am nothing. So I always want to give back to my community. So shout out to you guys. So first things first, this is not financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. This is a window to my thought process, a process that I've been tweaking for the past 17 years. It eliminates the nonsense. It eliminates the emotions. It eliminates me going to the news to justify price action. I trust charts over people. I'm going to get that t-shirt made. So, the reason why I'm looking at the DXY, if you guys remember from my last video, I said I'm good for the next pump. After that, it's chess, right? You got to speculate. So, guess what's happening during that first move? We're seeing support at support. We're seeing this golden cross forming on the daily time frame. We went from overbought to oversold. We went from resistance to support. I mean, you couldn't be any more clear, right? Now, the most important thing is, do we see resistance at the 103.87 level over here and form yet another lower high? What's going to help you understand what's happening on your time frame, you need to look further out because long-term trends predict short-term outcomes. You need to look at the chart and see if the MACD is bullish or bearish. As of right now, it's not really telling me anything on the weekly time frame. The only thing that does look somewhat bearish is it looks like we're about to have a death cross. But we are getting bullish divergence right now. We're making higher lows with the RSI, higher lows with the price action. So I don't know if this isn't going to death cross. We stay flat and actually break above the 104. And instead of breaking down, we actually break to the upside. Now, what's giving me a little bit of an inside information on that is the market is looking kind of red, right? I mean, some coins are up 100% in a day or two. Some coins are up 1,200% in 2 months. I mean, it's astronomical numbers, right? And what usually happens is profit is taken. This happens time and time again, right? Did you chase green candles? Did you buy an asset when the RSI told you it was overbought? Well, guess what? You FOMO'd in. You didn't trust the charts, right? Sorry to say it. So as of right now, the DXY looks good for the next couple of days, right? We need to see, once again, I'm good for the next move. The next move is up to 103.75 to potentially 104.13. DXY technical analysis is done, right? We're pumping up to here. From here, this is why I have this alert. I need to evaluate the chart to see if we're stopping, if we're forming hidden bearish divergence, if we're seeing wicks to the upside like this and like this and this, right? Are we going to see the selling pressure here? Need to see. The most important chart is probably this monthly, right? As you can see, you always have to look long, right? Here is the long-term trend. Okay, we went resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, support, support, resistance, resistance, support, support, resistance. We're at like the halfway house. We're like 50-50. The symmetrical triangle could break down. We go back to support. Symmetrical triangle could break up. We do like this little double top theory. So, what's going to give you the information on what's going to happen? The MACD and the RSI. The most important thing right now is this RSI. We need to, if you want to see green in the markets, you want to see the DXY crash. If you want to see blood in the market, you want to see the DXY pump. It's that simple. Some people have money on the sidelines. They're waiting for another entry price. You want to see the monthly MACD stay above the 50 line, form a bottom, form a higher low, right? Because these were lower than this one. And if this does come back and form a bottom here, it's actually an inverse head and shoulders, and we could break to the upside, and we're back in section A. If we're back in section A, the symmetrical triangle on the weekly breaks to the upside. If we go to the monthly, and the monthly, now once again, volume is still coming down, MACD trend still coming down, but this is a lagging indicator, okay? You got to look at the weekly and a couple days to see what's really going on now. And right now, we're finding somewhat of short-term support. Excuse me. If Bitcoin's going to pump to 80 to 100,000 pre-halving, which isn't really the trend I've been saying for the longest time, I do think we have a sell the news type of event. I don't like when people who aren't in crypto start texting me and messaging me about crypto. I know it's a clear signal of a short-term top. Now, once again, I do think we can go higher, but the most important thing is, do we have a nice little healthy consolidation from the crypto market, form higher lows on the macro level? I'll explain that in a second. And a rinse repeat type of event. And we break, if we form higher lows, then that means we could go up and break the 70 something thousand mid to end of 2024, right? So this is the chart you guys need to be watching. You need to set an alert right here at, let's just say, the 50-60, and I would set an alert at the 53-54. I don't know if it's going to go below, or I don't know if it's going to form a bottom and go up. RSI actually just broke. So here we go, right? This is going up to here. Now we look at Bitcoin. Now, for the longest time, I've been saying I don't like that this high here made a higher high. This high here made a higher high. Now this high here went to 76, formed a lower high. This high here formed a higher high. That's hidden bearish divergence, right? Out of the two indicators, the RSI is going to be the first mover to show you hidden bullish, hidden bearish, or bullish or bearish. And right now it's showing us hidden bearish. Hidden bearish means the price action is going up, right? The waves, the waves in the price action are doing this, but these waves are doing this. I trust charts over people. That's what I mean by that, okay? Now, the most important thing is, does the weekly come down, stay above the 70 line, right? If it stays above the 70 line, you're still in section A+. You could still technically go up. In order for this uptrend from 52,000 to 73, 74,000 to end, you would like to see a death cross showing that momentum is now coming down. Why do I say that? Well, trend lines go with trend indicator. The trend indicator is the MACD. If your trend is going up and your shorter time moving average is above, volume is going up, that means your trend lines need to go up. If we break the 70 line, we're heading towards the 50, right? That's strike 1 towards the bearish side. We have a death cross. That's strike 2 on the bearish side. Trend lines either need to, well, if we stay somewhat flat, like this above the 70, we're going flat, okay? But still, trend lines need to change. You could see flat here, right? We came down, but we barely broke the 70 and came back up. We went flat. We did not break 50,005. We did not break 52.5. Then we had a golden cross. We went up. If we break the 70 and start going towards the 50, we're breaking this and we're going down to like 63 something thousand. Now, to confluence and justify that price action, you can't just look at 1, 2 things, right? I go to the weekly chart. I've been saying for years now that on the weekly chart on Bitcoin, or for Bitcoin, it uses the 11 and 21 day moving average as support during the bull market and uses it as resistance during the bear market. Right now we're in the somewhat in a bull market, because the monthly time frame, the longer time frame, still remains bullish. Bull market means your highs and your lows continuously get higher. During the bull market, everyone's a genius, because you could buy when it's extremely overbought, and those highs are usually broken with another higher high, right? You could have not bought at 21.7 and bought all the way at 30,003. Worst time to buy during these last two waves, yeah, we came down, formed a higher low, and broke that, right? You could have bought again at the double top at 31.4. As long as you didn't die, we came down and made a higher high. You could have bought here, made a higher high, higher high, higher high. Now you're trying to see when the trend is changing so that if you're going to start making lower highs, right? It does matter when you buy in a bear market, because if you don't buy and sell at the right time, your profits are depleted and now you're in the negative. And depending on if you're using leverage, you get liquidated and you're losing a lot of money. So once again, during bullish times, I like to open longs. During bearish times, I like to open shorts because you're betting with the long-term trend. So as of right now, if we're seeing a little pump out of the DXY, the first thing I'm looking at is this right here, weekly time frame. I mean, we're way above, but it's 55 to technically 48,000. Okay, a lot has to happen in order for that to happen. As of right now, what am I seeing? I would set an alert at 71,281. Now, what could and should happen, since the short-term trend is changing, this rising wedge pattern could potentially break down. We could find support at the 68.5, which was most recent resistance and support. Then, in order for this to be a continuation to the downside, you'd usually see a dead cat bounce, right? Because some people don't look at charts, and they have some YouTubers and Instagrammers and TikTokers saying that Bitcoin's going to 100,000 for the halvening, so they don't care that it's at 71.8, extremely overbought. There's tons of room to grow, but what usually happens is a dead cat bounce. The indicators don't lie to you. We have a retest of the 71.5 or 72,000, and if we form a lower high at resistance, then that's a clear continuation to the downside, or at least sideways, right? Now, that's Bitcoin. Another couple key things you could do if you're looking for a daily trend change, go to the 12-hour, cut it in half. You want to see, did a death cross? Is it coming down, right? Set an alert there, and then on the daily, right-click in the MACD, add alert on the MACD crossing the MACD signal. Alert. What you just did is you will now get an alert when the shorter time moving average death crosses below the longer time moving average, and that'll notify you when poo-poo's hitting the fan. Next alert. Here. This clear as day. We came up, we double top. Whenever you see Batman ears, that's not good, right? That's a double top. Batman pops out, kills the momentum. Batman pops out, kills the momentum. When you look at the bigger picture, this wave went to the 80, this wave went to the 86, this wave went to the 78. If you know anything about chart patterns, this is a head and shoulders. Head and shoulders are usually bearish price trends, price patterns, which shows me that this is the arm, showing me that if we do break the 70 line, we're probably going to come all the way back down to the 54.89 to potentially the 50. So once again, all I'm doing is figuring out all the confluence ideas that work together, right? Bearish, 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 bearish. All right, this all lines up. Do we stop at the 70? If we stop at the 70, then this would do this, right? We would come down, find support at the 65. In order to show that this is now a continuation to the downside and not just a fake out, you would want to see it go back down to the support level of the 64.65. It would then retest here. At this point, the moving average is here. So you're having a double negative confluence part there, whatever it's called, right? So you're having rejection from the 70 and rejection from the moving average, showing you that this is a continuation to the downside. And the only thing that I do is if there's room to bleed, I'm opening up a short. If there's room to grow, I'm opening up a long. Not financial advice. Hasn't happened yet. Most important thing is on this daily chart, I'm setting an alert here at the 70.69. I'll probably set another one here at the 64.29, notifying me that I have to check the chart to see if we're having that play that I just told you play out. Tesla. If you remembered the last video I said from Tesla, I trust charts over people. How do I call things weeks to months in advance? Is because the things that I just showed you on the daily mean more on longer time frames. And if you see, once again, here you go, right? What did I just tell you about a totally different ticker? This is what I mean by when people say technical analysis doesn't mean anything, right? It's all about the fundamentals. I just showed you a totally different coin, ticker, sector, circulating supply, founder, industry, and this did the same thing on a month, on a 3 month, that I'm telling you could probably happen on a daily. What did it do? Well, we broke the moving average. We broke the 70. We went up to the 70. Use it as resistance. This was your clear indicator right here that this was a rejection and a continuation to the downside. And what did I just say? There was room to bleed. Room to bleed back where? Back to support. So, if the long-term trend is bearish, you should not expect green positive price action on the shorter time frames. When you have a death cross and a confirmation right here, we went from 313 to 117. We had a dead cat bounce because once again, that's a great buy. It's down how much from its all-time high, right? It's down 71%. We did have a dead cat bounce, but guess what? The most important thing is what? What do you think the most important thing with this price action right here? It didn't make a higher high. So what that means is technically this could make a lower low. So now we need to evaluate. This is a 3 month. What I do is I look at the monthly, 2 month, and 3 month for clarity. If you're doing trading, you're really looking at the monthly, the weekly, and then the daily. If you're day trading, you're looking at the weekly for clarity, the daily to figure out how, if you're going to have a red or a green day, but you're really looking at the hourly, 30-minute, 10-minute, right? So this is for long-term investors. This is for someone that I've been talking to for a while. I don't know his trading experience. It's been a while since we spoke, and the last time we did speak, Tesla was here and it's down. And I said we're breaking into section B and we're in section B. Nothing positive comes from that, regardless of the ticker, cuzzy. If your asset's in section B on a longer time frame, you should be expecting blood on the shorter time frames. So now I look at the chart. I go to a monthly chart. I want to see where clear support resistance. You can see here this was resistance at the 167. It was definitely support. We went up, we came down, had a little pimple below, came up, support again, and we're here. Next thing you want to know, here was the most recent support. Here was the most recent support. Okay, this is somewhat coming down. Next thing I see is resistance. Okay, so where's the play? Here's the play. When I see a crack in the ice and there's room to bleed, now you could figure out your play. If this does break, you're looking at 130 to 118 to potentially 100 for Tesla. I like using 3 levels, and the reason why I said that is this is the first level here at 130. The bottom of these candles here are 119, and the bottom of the wicks are the 102, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up right there. There's my 3 levels, okay? Now, is there any confluence to show you that that might happen? Here we are. Here's the monthly. We're breaking down into section B. Your monthly, does it have room to bleed? I always say scroll down, look at the whole price history, and you could see here major supports around the 37 technically. Where are we now? The 43. This looks like a rounding top, right? We did something like this and it would complete it right around here. So is that bullish if we do stop at the same bottom? Of course, but what do we have? We have room to bleed, cuzzy. This is a monthly chart. So if the monthly chart looks like there's room to bleed, expect, excuse me, bearish price action on the shorter time frames, right? So here we are. Here's short-term support, okay? So what could happen? We could go back up, form another lower high back at this level right here, right? 200 to technically 218 because we're extremely oversold. But you have to understand the macro trend. Macro trend is this big white one, right? Where we went from here, we went to here, we went to here, we went to here. See, I'm a swing trader. I don't like to catch all these little baby boop, 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 all that, right? I like to buy around here, take my profits around here, use some leverage or some margin, call it a day, right? Now you're in that midway mark, but the trend is still doing this. You're making lower highs every time. You're making lower lows every time. You can have a dead cat bounce at this support level here, right, of the 163, like I said, but the most important thing is, does it come back up, see resistance like it did here and like it did here, and then, because the monthly looks like poop, right? You can have a couple green days in a bad week and a bad month. Of course, 2020 was a horrible year, but everyone had birthdays, right? So maybe a little pump back to this resistance, or maybe even a double top. And then eventually maybe you come down to these levels over here, because once again, the monthly takes months to print, right? It's like every candle is a month. We're only at the 14th of March. So once again, you could have a little bear flag and then boom, another lower low, excuse me. So now we go into Quant. Quant. Here's Quant's trend. First thing I'm seeing is hidden bearish divergence. Same lingo, same indicators. I trust charts over people. I don't care what news is coming out for Quant. I don't care what Elon Musk is saying. The price action has been following the chart, meaning here is support. We went to resistance. We went to support. We went to resistance. When we're at resistance, do we buy or do we take profit? I posted this in the community tab the other day. We buy at support so that we have the potential to take profit at resistance. Okay? This is up 37% in 30 days. If you're using a 10x leverage, you're up 300%. Leave you with that. So, hidden bearish, what does that mean? Well, you need to look at this section right here. This high here was here, okay? We then came down and went up, and now we're forming a lower high. If we're forming a lower high in the price action, right, and you're forming a lower high on the RSI, that is basically hidden bearish, right? The indicator is telling you that the run is over, it's getting rejected by the 70, and we have potential to come back down to here. Now, macro meaning long-term trend, the most important thing is what? When you are trading or charting in altcoin, what's the chart that really matters? It's your coin versus Bitcoin, right? So let's go to your coin versus Bitcoin on a weekly chart, right? The reason why I start with the long term is because long-term trends predict your short-term outcomes. So the most important thing is what? Look what happened here when we finally formed a bottom and then pumped from June 22nd all the way up to here. If I go to the Quant USD chart, what do you think it's going to be, bullish or bearish? It was the start of the bull run, cuzzy. June 22. June 22. So what needs to happen in order for Quant to start seeing really nice gains or potentially break out of this symmetrical triangle? A symmetrical triangle is it's making higher lows, right? Making higher lows, but it is also making lower highs. So what could happen is a little consolidation out of Bitcoin, right? Let's just check because the alerts are going off. You might see this live, meaning the 70 line being broken and support being broken. Let's put an alert right here. I want to see if you guys see it live at the 70,000 whatever, right? And once it breaks, guess what? I don't even want to say it, right? But I told you so. So here we go. This symmetrical triangle could break to the upside, could break to the downside. Most people are going to tell you to use the whole flag. I am a conservative trader. I'm trying to make you profitable. So take the meat and potatoes, right? If we were to break out over here, let's just say after the halvening, March, April, May, we could go back up to this level here. Once again, always look at support and resistance levels on longer time frames. So that's what I see potentially playing out. I could see maybe something like this. We form yet another higher low, and then eventually the halvening happens. We have a nice higher low on Bitcoin, and then we have a breakout to the 142, the 153, or the 162. Back to this level, back to this level, or back to this level. And once again, if you do buy at support, you would then be up again. Let's just say it goes back down to the top of the candles here, right? What was resistance will turn into support. So let's just say the 115 to the 119 level. If you do buy here again, even the 116, you're looking at another 20 to 24%, another 30 to 34%, or 40%. But the most important thing then is you are gaining value versus Bitcoin and you're breaking out of resistance. And the most important thing there is you're not making a lower low. You're now making a lower high. You're making a higher high, implementing that the price could then make a higher low. So, excuse me, most important thing on this chart, where's the MACD? Where's the RSI? What section is it in? There's no guessing here, cuzzies, right? You can do this. It doesn't matter your race, your religion, it doesn't matter your experience. You just got to listen to me and put the reps in and understand the importance of certain things. And then identifying when they could happen, right? Once you identify if it can, you start setting alerts, right? So the most important thing is what? If we break this level right here. So I'm setting an alert right there. Because we're in section B, below the histogram, and because we're in section B, below the 50 line, that shows me that even though the trend is going up and the trend's going up, we're going flat. So the most important thing that could happen on this channel is we form a double or a triple bottom, similar to what happened 2-3 years ago. Okay? So we came down, you're seeing your first green bar literally at the same section here. That's what I mean by I trust charts over people. Now, this, unfortunately, if this is still going sideways, join the Discord, links in the description. Here is the chart. If your coin is going flat versus Bitcoin and Bitcoin's coming down, your coin comes down. If your coin is going up versus Bitcoin and Bitcoin's coming down, your coin stays flat. Okay? If your coin is going up and Bitcoin's going up, your coin does stuff like this. Okay? If your coin is going down versus Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's going up, your coin stays flat. Not much price action. Okay? Not much price action because of Bitcoin's dominance. It's that simple. So as of right now, we're at 70,009, right? We're watching the 12-hour. We want to see if the 12-hour bleeds to the 50. We want to see the 16-hour bleeds to the 50. And then we want to see the daily breaks to 70. I'm putting an alert right here, 68, 65. Because once again, I want to see if we do that thing where we break down, we go to this level, and then we come back up and then use this double negative right here. Apex moment showing us that this does this. And then we could potentially go sideways or even down. That's the video. Love you guys. Appreciate the support. Any comments, questions, concerns, please leave it in the comments section. Discord link is in the description. That is free. I would love to get this channel to 500 subscribers so that I could start the memberships again and start taking some requests from you guys. Enjoy. Love you guys. Do me a favor. If you appreciate these videos, all I could ask is just the support, right? It's free. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you know anyone that could learn from these videos. Thank you.